All righty, we are officially live and we are going to be discussing, thumbnails and hopefully making them better. And if you read the email that I sent out, I basically said your thumbnails suck. Now, that doesn't mean your thumbnails suck. That just means that all of our thumbnails suck at one point in time. So what we're trying to do is suck a little less, right? So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to clean up some things. We have been working with our 1K collective group, and we did a full, actually 2 weeks in a row. We've been doing a lot of thumbnail reviews, and we have realized like there's some things that are missing. And what I want to do here today is I want to share with you some exercises that you can do. Actually, one exercise in particular that you can do right now. As soon as we get done with this, you're going to be able to do this for your next video. And I'm telling you right now, we have to understand that if you don't get your thumbnail to grab someone's attention, let's say that you got the title right. Okay, that's great. But no one's reading the title until they get the attention of your thumbnail. So we have to understand that, right? And that's why those two pieces are extremely important. And that's why we talk a lot about, finding your outlier titles and all of that stuff. And then from there, your thumbnail, because that's your packaging. And then from there, we move into the intros. Again, if you're in the 1K collective, that's exactly what we've been talking about and focusing on here for the last 3 weeks. And we're just going to keep on it because it's super, super important. And I've got some examples I'm going to share with you today. I've also got, a winning thumbnail that we created. I also have one that's fresh, like today. I posted it before we even got on here. It's about maybe 5 hours old. It's doing really well. And I'm going to share that with you, but I followed the same formula that we're going to walk through here with you today. All right. Now, let me know in the comments real quick. Are you A/B split testing thumbnails? Let's just get that out of the way. All right. Let us know in the comments. Are you creating two different versions of your thumbnails? And are you using the A/B split testing? Let me know in the comments. All right, Scotty, anything you wanted to touch on before we dive into what I've got prepared for us today?
No, I think this is just a great little thing that you guys are going to learn a lot about thumbnails. And like you said before, doesn't mean your thumbnails necessarily suck. Maybe this might hit some of you, but it may not be everyone. But I think at the end of the day, we all, even us, are always trying to improve at our thumbnails. Always. And that's why, we had to get your attention real quick. But actually, after having you here, you're going to understand where we're coming from and what you're going to learn out of just this live, which again, like we're giving you some stuff that we break down obviously in more detail with our 1K collective, but this is going to be kind of talking about a little bit of that stuff. So, take your notes out right now and start writing these down because we're going to dive into them.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me go ahead and pull up me slides. I don't know why I said that like that. I wanted to say my and me and you, I guess. So let's pull up my slides. All right,
pull up my slides. Here we go.
Do your thumbnails suck? That's the question, right? That's the question. And you know what? I ask myself the same darn question. And I can look back at some of the ones that I've done in the past. And let me just tell you something, they suck. And I mean, this goes back to years ago. My wife and I owned a photography business, and we look back at some of our first professional photos that we did for people, and we're like, oh, we cringe a little bit. You're like, wow, people paid us for that. Like, those weren't great. Now, to those people, they were great. But for us, we see it now with a different eye. The thing is, we just want to get a little bit better. That's all. And I think actually going through this, it's going to make it a lot simpler for you. And also I'm going to give you one thing. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you one thing. It's going to change everything for you. And you will get more clicks on your video, which will lead to more views. And I guarantee that. All right. I'm guaranteeing that if you do what I'm about to tell you and share with you, you will get more views than if you aren't doing this. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. So let me go ahead and advance through here and we'll get to the next one. Okay, so let's talk about the thumbnail mistakes. And these are pretty common, but they happen a lot. Number one, thumbnail too busy. Okay, you got a lot of stuff going on in there. If you have more than 2 or 3 things going on in that, it's too much. Okay, because you got to remember, a lot of times people are viewing this on a mobile device. And when they're seeing it on a mobile device, it's really small, right? So you got all these different components. The other thing is, even if it's on a bigger screen, it's distracting. Like, where do you want me to look? Where does it draw my attention, right? So overly edited, too busy, like that's what we're talking about there. The second thing is text is too small. You can't read it. Okay. Or you have too much text, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You just have too many words. Like years ago, and I made this mistake, by the way, guys, is I would take the title and I would put the title on the thumbnail thinking, oh, well, if people don't read my title, they're going to read the thing. No, that was a big mistake. Okay. The thumbnail is real. Its job is to grab attention and then tell you what that video is about with just the visuals. Okay.
Yep.
A little bit of text, over edited. The days of having to have these flashy thumbnails that are overly edited, and now we have AI and everything. It's not necessary. And actually the ones that are less edited are doing better now, which is good news for all of us, right? We don't have to spend as much time on that. The fourth mistake is not having any curiosity baked in there. Now, I'm not saying everything has to have curiosity baked in, but when you can add that, even just a little bit of it, it gets someone wanting to click. Now, I'm not talking about clickbait. I'm not a fan of clickbait. If you're going to put something in a thumbnail, make sure you deliver on the promise.
Yep.
Okay. We don't want that. All right. But we do want to add a little bit of curiosity in there. Like, I wonder, really that? Okay. Let me go ahead and click on that. All right. And then the fifth thing is it just doesn't pop, meaning it doesn't have anything on that thumbnail that gets someone to either say, oh, wow, that's a bright color, or, oh, wow, like, why are they doing that? Or, oh, wow, like, what's that prop that they're using, or that object, or, wow, that's a tomato plant. Like, and it's the tomatoes like up here and it's cut with a knife. And you're like, what the heck? And it's all bright red, right? It doesn't pop. We need that thing to pop. Yes, I mean, visually it needs to pop, but it has to, not just with like colors, but also with like what's in it, right? A lot of times people are like, their image, and I mean, we dealt with this in the 1K collective, and I love it that everyone in there is so willing and they're like, hey, let me have it, right? It's like a lot of times you're in the image, but you're way too small, right? If you notice on any of my thumbnails that you're going to see, or the ones that Scotty has created, it's usually going to be up in your face, because when you're scrolling on your phone, it's smaller, right? And everyone is kind of drawn with a face anyway. And there's different expressions that we can do. And I'm going to share with you guys a bunch of different examples, but literally just the image of the person, if it's you, having an expression or some type of reaction, definitely is going to add to it. But those are some mistakes. Let me know in the comments. Have you made any of these mistakes, or is it just me? Let me know in the comments. Scotty's raising his hand too. Let us know in the comments. Have you made any of these mistakes? And if you have, maybe you can even say, was it 1? Was it 2? Was it 3? Was it 4? Was it 5? Was it all of them? Let us know in the comments. Anything you want to add to that, Scotty, before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, all of this, 100%. You're on point with all of it. I think too, just to kind of simplify for you what I think of, and this relates with all of these things that you brought up, is 3 points of contact. So like there's 3 things that you need to be focusing on. There shouldn't be any more than that in your thumbnail. That's what creates it to be too busy, over edited, all of that, no curiosity. You need 3 things, because we can only, as humans, handle so much at a time. And we want it to be kind of, I guess, generalized and just right there in our face, where it's, okay, this is exactly what it's about. I don't want to have to think about it a lot. I want it to kind of be thought out before. And so we have those 3 things of contact. You talked about a person in it. So if it's you doing the video, your face is in it, right? That's one part. If you want to use text, that's your second part. Again, 3 to 4 words. We don't do more than that, because again, we only want to comprehend just a little bit. That gives me, that curiosity. And then the third thing is whatever it is that you're talking about. If you're talking about a phone, Maybe you have your phone over here, and the
Right.
phone is pretty big up in the screen. So I have 3 things there, nothing more than that. But what I see is a lot of people put 10 different things to try to explain their video. And it's like what we talked about with our 1K Collective class is take text away. I should be able to have an idea of what niche you are in based off of your thumbnail without text. The text just adds the curiosity. If you're putting all this to try to persuade me of what you're talking about, then you're doing way too much with your thumbnail and you need to simplify it.
Yep. Yep. Perfect. All right, cool. So we got a lot of yeses, and I appreciate everyone being so open and honest. And it's just, you know what, we have to admit what we've done in the past, and it's okay, right? We're just going to get better. That's it. That's one thing we keep harping on. And with our 1K Collective class, is we just got to get a little bit better, right? It's not about being perfect. This next upload or the upload after that, we're never going to be really perfect, but we're going to get better, right? We're going to learn from these. So yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and let's move on now to the 3-step formula. All right. And these are really the only 3 things that we need to focus on. 1, show emotion, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's curious. I didn't have enough room here. Frustration, right? Like any of those things, show emotion, and the emotion is going to come from you or the person that's in the video. Mm-hmm. Okay. So just let that sink in for a minute. Okay. If you have any type of expression, it's going to tap into an emotion for someone else that's scrolling. It's going to get that attention. Okay. Yep. And you might want to play around with it and have one where you're happy and one where you're sad, or, now not overly acting, right? I usually just take a screenshot from the video. You're going to see some examples here in a second, but number 1, show emotion, because emotion is what we all kind of react off of, right? It gets our attention. The second thing is short and bold text. Make it pop. Once again, I'll show you examples of that as we move through this. All right. And then the third thing is you should be able to describe what the video is about and who it's for without ever reading the title. That's a big one. And again, I've got a few examples here, and I'm actually going to walk you through the exercise that I want you to do as soon as you get done here. And before you upload your next one, I want you to do that. Okay. And this is an exercise we've been doing in the 1K Collective, and it's been really, really helpful for all of us because it makes you think differently. All right. And if you can get your message in that thumbnail across without anybody reading, you've done your job. The thumbnail has done its job. Okay. And just to kind of back up a little bit, the title is going to signal the algorithm to then find our audience. That's why the title is so important. And then from there, the thumbnail is what they're going to see now after the audience is, or the algorithm is finding the audience. And then it's going to have them click, and that gets us our view. Okay. Yep. Now, if you struggle with hooks, titles, we've got you covered. If you haven't yet requested to download it, we have a free resource. It's our hooks guide. There's 10 title hooks that we have used, worked really, really well. And we have 10 of our top best performing as of right now. And we also turn them into templates, and we gave you multiple examples on how you can adapt them to your niche. If you want a copy of that, just put hooks in the comments. All right. Hooks in the comments, and we'll send you a copy of that. All right. All right. So with that all being said, let's keep moving forward here. All right. Now, there is a thumbnail that I created today. All right. I created this today, and the results are pretty good so far. But this is from stuff that I learned from doing, I don't know, at this point, over 1,000 thumbnails, right? Like I've been doing this a long time, over 15 plus years. And, I learn a lot faster now because of the A/B split testing, because I see the A/B test on other thumbnails, and then I bring them here.
I think they're excited about it too. That's what I heard.
Yeah, sorry about that. We are live here. That's just looks like a UPS driver or someone delivering a little package. So Brody and Maisie wanted to say hi. That's my dogs. So anyway, so what I did here was, now if you were to look at this, okay, if we're looking at this right now, And I want you guys to do this. Maybe you guys already saw the video because it came out today. Maybe you didn't. But what would you think that this is about? Let me know in the comments, right? And I don't want to tell you right off the bat, but I want you to think to yourself, like if you saw this without reading the title, what do you think it's about? Now, again, remember, the people that are going to be seeing this are the people that are in my audience because the title signaled the algorithm to say, put this in front of those people. And yes, motivational minister says how to get more views. Perfect. Let's see, improving views. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. How to get more views. Let's see. How to go from low views to high views. Awesome. Let's see. I had another one here. Let's see here. Where is it? They keep moving in here quick. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to give Jess a little shout out. She's one of our 1K collective group members. If you need any help with, American accent training, go with Jess. She's doing awesome, by the way. But yeah, so you're 100% right? Because I know that visually you guys, my audience, looks at these stats all the time. Like I didn't just put in there 314 with a different font. I didn't put in, the green that's in that 49,200 is the green in your dashboard. So immediately, I don't even have to tell you, but this is about a YouTube video because you're in the YouTube audience. Done, right? Like that's it. And so what I did there, if you look, I've got like a little bit of a expression on my face, like, man, I can't believe this happened, or wow, and it's like, kind of like, I'm kind of surprised, but not, it's like, it's a little bit of like, wonder what happened here. Okay. And then obviously I've got an arrow going over to the other side. It's like from this to this, right? So again, you're right. That's what the video is about. Okay. That is what it's about. Now here's another one I did for the same video. Okay. So I've got YouTube in there because that's who it's for. Even though in the other one, I didn't have to say it. I have suggested, and then boom, 49,200. So immediately, if you're looking at that and I'm looking at, I'm like this, I'm like, wow, really? Look what just happened here. Check this out, right? That's the expression. That's the emotion I'm trying to give you in this image. And you can see I'm pretty big in that image, right? I'm zoomed right in. And then you have their YouTube suggested, and then you have red behind that makes it pop, very bold. And then I have a screenshot of the 49,200. Okay. So it makes you go, get your attention. And then you're going to read the title. And the title. No, go ahead.
I just want to add something to that because this is a perfect point. Back to earlier, we were talking about, remember, 3 points, right? So we got the YouTube suggested. That's your words, right? So there's 2 words there. And then what we're referencing, which is the views, right? 3 things, right? So that's the first thing I want you to know. There's our 3 things, right? Second that I want you to know, with your background, adding things to your background that's not like where it's, so much going on, but because you can tell you have a blurred background, right? But I want you to notice what's up at the top right of the YouTube spot. There's a play button there, right? Some people might see it, some people may not. But people are going to understand that probably has something to do with YouTube. Mm-hmm. Even if you didn't put the YouTube logo there, people would probably pick that out and it still, okay, there's a play button. It has to do something with YouTube probably, right? Yep. Because it's like you're giving, in a sense, like context clues. I'm giving people context clues on my background as well, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean you always have to have that, but we talk about that even with our clients. Like if I was like, I'll bring up Mike's a vocal coach. If I was Mike and I was talking in a place and I had a record behind me, or I had a mic, sitting on the wall or whatever, a picture of a mic or whatever, or a picture of a person singing, it's giving more context of what you're probably going to be talking about, right? So like little subtle things like that also helps with your thumbnails where, like you said before, you're taking a screenshot from a lot of your videos, right? Yeah. And just using that.
Yep. I want to Raider X has better be a guitar too. What made you think of the guitar, Raider X? I'm just curious because I know what I think you think, but I don't want to say it. I'm just curious to see why you think there should be a guitar somewhere in there, which there is a guitar up behind the back of it. Yes, there you go. The amp. That's a Marshall little practice amp that I've got on there that actually works. And I use it occasionally. Yes. And then, yep, makes it with AI, says the amp. Yep, Marshall, you're right. That's the logo. You know it because you're a guitar player probably, right? Or you've been around rock music, right? So anyway.
Yeah, sorry. One more thing, because I'm just loving the crew we have in here right now. Like, thank you guys for being a part of this right now, this live. One person I noticed coming, I haven't seen you before. Maybe you've been in here, maybe not. Tattoo Now. I think number one, that's a great niche where you could definitely create some great content in. But I like that you were able to say you had a little aha moment for you, right? That's something that's big. But that's another niche even there. You could be shooting it in your, in the building where you're doing, where, you do all your tattoos and stuff. And you could have, literally where your setup is, because you have all the ink behind you. You probably have some cool pictures, this and that. And you just take the screenshot of your video that you shot, in the office. Right. So like, that's just another idea for someone who's in a different niche, right? That's an easy one.
Yeah, for sure. I want to give a little shout out to another one of our 1K collective guys who's blowing it up. Firearms Training by John. He goes, same shirt. Yeah, I did this video this morning, guys. Like, I practice what I preach. I shot the video this morning. I uploaded the video, and here I am in the afternoon now doing a live stream. Guys, it's the same shirt. Yes, because that's what I was wearing this morning. That was taken this morning. And I'll actually pull up the stats afterwards, see where we're at. We were over 700 views in like a few hours. The click-through rate was over 9%. We'll see where we are when a little bit longer. We'll just kind of let it go a little bit. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to John. John's crushing it right now. So yeah, appreciate him.
I had a couple of micro viral videos.
Yes, he does. And then Clay says, I love the Marshall in the background. Yeah. So Clay did we did an audit for Clay with his stuff. He says, so if you're blurred stuff in the background that you don't want to bring to attention, does that work? It can. But in this case, if you know what that thing is, like you're a guitar player, you see that Marshall, you know it, right? You know it right away. But yeah, the blurred background can definitely hide a messy background or whatever, right? Like it totally can do that too. All right, cool. So let me just kind of go back here though. So this was the first one of this, and this was the second one. So if you notice here, there's no words in that one. 0 words. Okay. The only thing that is my little wooden sign up there that says #TakeAction, because that's kind of been my motto for the last, 10 or 12 years. I've got a book that I wrote called The Take Action Effect. It's like part of what I do, right? So that's there. But other than that, it's literally views low to views are higher, right? Like that's it. And you're like, I want that, right? And so that's going to get your attention. All right. So that all being said, this here was one that we did a little while back, January 6th. Here we are at the 23rd. And this one here, that was the winner. Okay. Now, both of these I thought were really good. So the first one, and I'll pull up the one that won here in a second, but basically the first one, and this ran, it got, let's see, I stopped it early. It says a test stopped by you, ran from January 6th through the 7th. So I did that in like a day because it was so high. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kill this thing early and just run with it because the thing was doing well, still doing well. It's over. That's the one that got 49,000, I believe it was. But anyway, so this is the A/B split test. So if you get a lot of impressions and a lot of views quickly, it won't have to run 14 days. You might know in a day, you might know in 2 days, you might know in 5 days, but I knew this early. So now that I look at that, I'm like, okay, why did that one work better? Well, the old way, and then you see before, and then you see new way, and then you see, the views. Well, wait a minute here. Let me pull this up here. Let's see. We've got red on the left with low views. We've got higher views on the right. And I did put on here new way to upload, but let's go back for a second here. Kind of looks a little similar, don't it, Scotty? Doesn't that look a little similar?
Yeah, something like that. You might have got an idea from somewhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I did it and then I did it here and it won. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try to do another spin on that. It seems to work when I show this to this. I don't know. right? So this is my point. We're able to learn from our own thumbnails, not just looking at other people, because we know the data, right? We get the data back. And the data, obviously, let me go back here. Obviously, because this test won for me, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and try it here again. And it seems to be working. All right. So I just wanted to point that out. All right. So this is the one. Scotty, why don't you break this one down a little bit quickly, right? What elements we got going on here?
Again, we got you in the middle. Okay. So, and here's another thing, right? We talk about taking up a third of everything. So like the points you want to really show, which is either you, a product, something you're sharing, whether it's, I mean, even I saw someone in here for like cooking and stuff, even if it was a meal you made, right? Having that as taking a third of it, your face taking a third of it, and then you have either open area with some stuff in the back to give ideas, or in this case, it was the text, right? So we have you, we got your almost in a sense, this is the same idea, and you probably see a lot of these videos as soon as I say it, before and afters, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is giving before and after without saying before and after. So again, this is stuff that we're not reinventing the wheel. These are things that's worked. It's just a different style.
Yep.
Old way, new way, before, after, same thing. Red arrow, green arrow, and then new way to upload. The red's there to make it pop. I see a lot. There's one thing I see a lot of people do that they mess up with the text is either one, they don't put any shadow behind it. So it's just white, and then their background has white in it, and then you can't see what the words are. That's one thing. The other thing is some people don't test out. Like, I'm not saying every video has to have red behind it, but red is a color that gets more attention. Try one of the words and put behind it. He could have did that on just upload. Mm-hmm. New way to upload, and uploads in red, because you're bringing the focus to uploading, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's the focus of the video. So now you're going to know this has to do something with uploading with YouTube.
I mean, you literally look at this. If you read that, it's like new way to upload, and then you see old way, new way.
Yep.
And you see it was not as good the old way, right? So you want to know, like, what is the new way, right? All right, let's keep moving here. All right, so here's the thumbnail pre-test that I want all of you to do for your next thumbnail, okay? I want you to do this. And I'm going to prove my point here in a second on why this is so powerful. I want you to ask someone before you post the video, and I want you to show them your thumbnail on your phone. And I want you to say, hey, what is this video about? That's it. That's the exercise. Now, while you're building your thumbnail, I want you to be thinking to yourself, I'm going to create this to ask someone what it's about. So how can I make this visually tell what the video is about? Guys, let me know if that was a little bit of an aha for you guys, because we shared this with the 1K Collective and it was an aha, right? And it's changing views, because if we're able to use the title outlier formula that we talk about and get in front of the audience, the next piece is the thumbnail. If we're not getting that right, we're not going to get the clicks. We're not going to get the views. All right. So let me know. Okay. If this is like, yes, this is good, right? Like I'm getting this. All right. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to actually go through a couple of thumbnails that we did this for inside of our 1K Collective group. All right. And this is all purely out of love. And the one that I'm going to be sharing, she's a good sport, and she's done a lot better since this first one. So here we go. Okay. I want you to tell me, by looking at that thumbnail, what do you think this video is about? Put it in the comments. Okay. I want you to do that for me. I'm going to wait till some come in. We're not going to move ahead. We've got, is it too late? We have an F. We have some an emoji of crying.
If you're in the 1K Collective, don't spoil it.
Yeah. Don't give it away, guys. Don't give it away. Okay, so we
got time management. We got not sure. I think it's about getting better grades. School.
About getting better grades.
Turning your grades around. Education field. Bad grade.
Studying. Right.
Yep.
Go back to studying.
Rising Mompreneur said, I'm keeping quiet. Hello. No idea. Studying for tests. Going back to school.
Yep.
Okay, so it seems like majority of you are saying it's something probably to do with the educational field or school or something.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what I'm getting out of all of these. We have a good amount of comments in here. Thank you
Okay.
guys for being so active in this too.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna throw Clay up here. Is it too late to get better grades in school? Okay. And you guys are basically saying exactly what I had thought. Okay. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna advance now, and I want you to now tell me what you think it's about. Okay. If I was to show you this thumbnail, what do you think this video is about? Okay. And again, if you're in the 1K collective, shh, don't say. Okay. I don't want you to spoil it. All right. So we're going to wait and see what we got here. Confession. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Bad
person. Okay. Somebody screwed up. Okay. Faith. Okay. Let's see. Screwing up. Okay.
Repentance.
Yep. Repentance.
She committed a sin.
Yep. Let's see. Got that one. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I missed the call. Sorry. I missed my calling. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Faith.
So then I'm not ready for back. Okay. Good. Okay.
Prayer request, forgiveness, redemption.
Forgiveness. Let's see. Yeah. Prayer request. Okay. Cool. Okay. Good. Now I'm going to give you one more. This was the A/B split test. Are you getting the same vibe? I'm just curious. Let's go ahead and see what else we got there. Let's see.
Confession,
sin. Okay.
Forgiveness,
Yep.
prayer,
forgiveness, sin and confession. Okay.
Prayer.
Okay. So here's my point. You think it has something to do with religion, God, Christianity, screwing up and wanting to be forgiven, right? Like now, if we go back, would you get any of that from that? I don't think you did, because you guys all said it's like getting better grades, how to study more, like this, that, and the other, right? Okay. So here's the deal. Yeah, it's about Christianity. And here was the title. I failed as a Christian to fulfill my highest potential at 49 years old until I learned this. Okay. So do you see the difference? So that video, that title is going after getting in front of people that are Christian, people that want to be a better Christian, 40 plus, because we have 49 years old. Okay. And so if you are a Christian, you're someone that wants to maybe, pray more, you want to get closer to God, like any of that stuff. If you saw this, it's going to get your attention. And then you're going to read the title and go, I failed as a Christian to fulfill my highest potential at 49 years old until I learned this. I want to know that. Right? So do you see the difference? It's like a massive difference. And motivational minister says, nice title. It is a good title. I think Title Ninja might have had something to do with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a Title Ninja title right there.
It is. Okay, so we look at it now. Would that make as much sense? Right? Would that make as much sense, that thumbnail versus this thumbnail? I mean, what a difference, right? And so Dream Talking with Vicky says, that thumbnail would hook me. Yeah, that's the idea, right? So it's perfect.
Nice. I'm getting my aha moment too. Love it. Love it.
Love that. Okay, cool. So are you guys going to ask someone that doesn't know about your video that you're going to be posting and ask what it's about? Let us know in the comments if you're going to do that. It's worth doing, guys. I'm telling you, huge difference. You take your click-through rate from a 1 or a 2% and bring it up to a 6%. It's game changer.
Mhm.
Okay. Game changer. Don't know which one won the split test. Someone asked which one. I don't know. We don't know that. We'd have to ask Nina. Okay. So there it is. Okay. Now this is one of her more recent ones. Do you see? Now she understands. She gets it. Right. And you would look at this and go, it's about faith. It's about Christianity. It's about God. You know, it's maybe about praying, right? Seeking more faith question. And it's a good picture of her off to the right, little blurred background. We've got a cross, nice coloring, simple, right? She's got a nice little soft smile. Boom. It's everything that we would want to see in a thumbnail. And really, guys, there's nothing fancy here. It's like literally Canva, right? It's Canva. That's it. Okay. I want to give a little shout out to Nina, by the way. She's been a good sport and she's been doing really good. She's early as far as she's switched and really pivoted her channel probably in the last, I would say 6 weeks. She's got a video or two that's done really well, but she's still trying to train the algorithm that she's all about Christian women. If you're interested in checking her out, make sure that you do. We always like to help and support anyone that is part of our, whether it's our private clients or people that we're coaching, or even just our 1K collectives, anybody that's going through any training, we'd like to try to give them a little shout out. And she's doing some really good stuff, and she's going to help a lot of people. And she actually just did a video the other day, which was brilliant, which we'll probably review that on the 1K collective call. But she actually had someone request a prayer for them. And she actually did a live prayer, which I thought was amazing. So it's a great idea to be able to do that. So just however you're going to be able to help and serve whether you're helping someone grow tomatoes, catch more bass, or help someone pray, you are helping someone. So just also understand that. So I want to give a little shout out to Nina. Great job, Nina. If you are watching this, and if not, great job. Go check out Nina's stuff. All right. That's what I got for you guys there. All right. Do we have any questions on that?
We do. And before we get to that, I just want to share one other thing, give a little shout out here.
Sure.
I followed your advice and I just got monetized in 90 days. Solid advice here. Number one, congrats on getting monetized.
Let's have a round of applause.
In 90 days, that's great. That's amazing. So,
yeah.
And here's the thing, guys. We're just being totally transparent on there's no gatekeeping. We're giving you exactly what has worked for us in multiple channels. And it comes down to just doing the work. We're just giving you advice. You still have to do the work. It's not like we're doing it for you. You have to do it. So you are, just as much doing the work as we are. We're just helping you kind of get there a little bit quicker from the things that we've learned. And that's the thumbnails, that's the title, that's all of that stuff. But, it comes down to if you're putting the work in and you're, going out there and making these videos and making these adjustments and trying to get better every video, that's all on you guys. So congrats on that. I do have a couple questions here. Mm-hmm. For the thumbnails, is Canva a good resource? Absolutely. That's what we use for all of the thumbnails you see on this channel. Our other channels is all Canva. There's no Photoshop or anything. Like Canva is, to us, meta. Like it's up there because you can do so much in it. Like simple clicks. Like yep. It's easy to cut out a background, any of that. Like even now with some of the AI generated stuff, which we don't really use AI, but you can do that if you need to find something for a background or anything. So we love Canva. Canva is awesome. So if you aren't using it and you're trying to find a simpler way to make thumbnails, highly recommend Canva. What can spike curiosity on a cooking channel, please? Oh, easy. Number one, you need to have whatever it is that you made. You need to have that in there. And the biggest thing for you, even if you don't put your face in it, is it's got to be something that, and you're talking about curiosity, it has to be something that is like almost in a sense of like no one's done this before kind of thing, right? So you have to really, so let's just say you made a pie, right? So you have a picture of this pie. It looks like super good. Like I want to, through the screen, I want to go eat that pie. Like it looks so good, right? And then maybe you have an arrow pointing to it, like a red arrow pointing to it. And then you have text that says, took me 20 minutes. Or something like that, or I don't know. I'm coming off the fly right here. It's just something like
Well, Sally's Garden Solution says one secret ingredient, right?
Exactly. Thank
And
you. Yes.
that I
One
think that's
secret ingredient.
what I was thinking too is like if you see that thing, but then you see like an ingredient that normally wouldn't go in there, and you'd be
Mhm.
like really? Like I put an egg in that? Like it'd be
Absolutely.
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, this can definitely work on a cooking channel. You do not, when we say like we're showing you examples with faces in it, you do not have to put your face in it. Like there is other ways around that, as long as again, one of your points of, you know, what you're sending people to in the thumbnail talks about your niche and it's pointing to that and it's directly still the curiosity. So like you said, an ingredient is an easy way for a cooking channel where
Yep.
next to the pie, you have an eggplant. And they're like, what? An eggplant in a pie? That doesn't even go. I mean, again, I'm
Mm.
coming up with stuff, but like it would be what you've put in there that maybe people don't. Maybe it's a seasoning of some sort, right? And then you have a seasoning next to it, and they're like, you know, usually you don't put turmeric in this. Why is that there? You know, it's
Mhm.
that little curiosity. Following that up, do you suggest we put 2 or 3 thumbnails for the A/B test? We do 2. Do you want to elaborate on why you do 2, Dad? Or
Yeah, well, because like depending on how many impressions you're getting, then it's going to be sharing the impression space, if you will. Like it's going to be serving it to a third, a third, and a third. So what we want to do is I'm going to reduce that by only giving it 2 to kind of go off of. And then if you want to let that run, and then after that, keep the one that won and then test it against the other one that you were going to do before. You could totally do that as well. That's why it just keeps it a little bit cleaner. And then this way here, I have a 50-50 split.
cool.
Um,
Okay. What app are you using to make these fancy changes to the thumbnail? That's all
Canva.
Canva.
Yep.
And again, if you guys aren't familiar already, we do have we did a little workshop of our scroll stoppers, it's called, which is literally all thumbnails.
Yep.
So if you want, do we have the banner for that, Dad?
I don't believe we do, but if you just go in the comment, or I'm sorry, in the description, we'll have a link in there for that. But
Yeah, and that goes through literally how we create
yeah.
it in Canva, and we've done it in multiple niches. It also goes a deep dive into the A/B testing, how to
Mhm.
A/B test, you know, what to look for, how to get the best results. We did a whole workshop on that. There's a lot of good resources in there. So if you want to check that out again, it's going to be in the description. You also can go to livevideoschool.com and you can find all of our different workshops we have in there as
Yeah,
well.
that'd actually be a good place to go. Livevideoschool.com, and you'll see scroll stoppers there, title to views workshop. Those are 2 workshops we did for a live class, about 3 to 4 hours each, but they're all cut up now, so they're easier to digest. We also have some templates in there and things like that. We also did a full Canva tutorial. It's all in there. So yeah, if you want to go check that out, go to livevideoschool.com.
Are you using the default fonts that Canva has in the Pro version, or are you uploading your own custom fonts? All in Canva. We don't.
Yep.
We're not taking anything outside of Canva. It's all in there. I think they have a million different fonts.
We do have the Pro though. We have the Pro version.
No, yeah, but he's saying, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it like something that we have to install? No. We're not finding any extra ones that you like install and drag in. We could, but I mean, what's working?
Don't need to.
You know, it's working, and there's so many fonts. You can find something that works for your style. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is bold. You just need it to be bold.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see a lot of people do like too skinny of lettering. Or the other thing is, which we talked about actually just on our class the other day with the 1K Collective, is the spacing. Sometimes the letter spacing is too far apart, so we kind of get that closer. That's like the biggest difference we do.
Yeah, and I was just showing this here so you can kind of see, right? Like it's just all caps, right? There's a drop shadow. There is a little trick that we do for the drop shadow, because the drop shadow will only give you so much to work with. So what I've done is I just copy it and I paste it over it like 2 or 3 times, and then it makes that really pop off of that backdrop of the red. So that's what we do there for that. Let me see here. Let me go back to that view. But I did want to share it with you guys. Like we'll kind of do this together. We posted a video this morning. I'll show you guys what's happening with it. It's going pretty well. But let me go ahead and share my screen on that one. Let's see. And that should be sharing that now. Can you see that, Scotty?
Yeah, you can just zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and bring that a little bit bigger. There we go. Let me go ahead and refresh this. And yeah, we're over 837 in 4 hours and 33 minutes on this one here. So this is doing well for our channel right now. We're really close to that one number one spot right now, which who knows how it will go between now and tonight. But it's doing pretty well. Right now, we're the impression click-through rate did go down a little bit. It was above 10 and then it was 9. Now, Scotty, why don't we talk about that real quick? Because people will look at this and go, oh, I'm not getting 8%, or I'm not getting 10%.
Go to the graph. Go to the graph. I'll explain that.
Yeah.
You hit that reach. So I want you're going to see something. Now, this is, again, a new video. It's not that much data on it, but there's at least almost 5 hours of data on it. The thing you're going to notice is you see it go up, you see it go down, go back up, down, up, down. Like it's kind of like going all over the place. See 10.2, 8.8, 8.4. Like it's kind of all over the place. And right now it's trending down. Okay.
Well, it is, but also I want to bring this up. Okay. Right now it's 446. If I go here, it's at 446. This is not an accurate number.
Correct.
Okay. So whenever you're looking at this, if you're getting this, you can look here at 411, but not at the actual time because it has not yet processed that time. So if you're looking at this going like, oh my gosh, it took a huge hit, you'll come back here in an hour and this will be higher, most likely.
It's usually at the end of the hour. That's when it updates. But here's the thing. This is how you know if your thumbnail's performing well or not. In the beginning, in the first hour, 2 hours, you should have at least above a 6%. And that's kind of even low, but we aim for like 8% in the first hour to 2 hours. So you can see our first hour was 10.2, second one was 8.8. This is a pretty good thumbnail. Now, you're going to notice it's going down. So, should I change my thumbnail now? Not necessarily. Because what's going on is every time you see one of these bumps every hour, what's really happening is YouTube is starting to understand who your video's for, the audience, and they're saying, I want to help you get more reach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a whole new audience and see if we can get you some more views over here. Well, we don't know what audience exactly YouTube sends it to. It could be someone with views, but views could be talking about Instagram views, but it sends in front of them. Maybe those people will like YouTube stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then your click-through rate is probably going to go down because you're not going to get as many clicks because it's not the exact audience, right? Mm-hmm. So even though a lot of people are like, oh, why doesn't it just send it to the one audience? I mean, it could, but you would cap at a number and it would stop. The reason it tests it is because it wants to give you a broader scale so that way you can get as much views as possible. So when you see it going up, down, it's testing new audience every hour. So it's always going to test a new audience because it's trying to give you the most push as possible. But if the click-through rate does continue to go down, and when I say down, like significantly, so like right now, 6. We're not going to go to the last part, 6.8. It's down, 2%, not even a full 2%, a 1.5% from before. It's not that much. I'm just going to keep riding that out. Now, if it went from 8.4 down to 0.5, okay, we're going to wait a couple hours and see if it comes back or not. If it doesn't come back, then I'm like, I don't know if, the thumbnail is that good because right now my average is down to a 2%. We try to stay above 6%. And I will say this, the more impressions you get, the lower your click-through rate is going to go. Yes. I mean, once we have videos that have 700,000 impressions, the click-through rate on that is probably around a 4 or 5%. Mm-hmm. Because over time,
or lower, it could be,
or lower, But I'll say on our videos, I don't really see any under 3.5%, 4%. And here's the thing: in our 1K collective, we see people send in their stuff, and we look at theirs. I mean, we had some people in the beginning. Off the bat, they're getting a 2.9% click-through. So that's telling me right away that even the ideal audience is pushing to right away in the first couple hours, they're not even engaging with it. Mm-hmm. So why is YouTube going to keep pushing it to other people? It's not. And then your video dies, right? Yep. So that's something that we need to start, noting is paying attention to that click-through rate and understanding why it's doing that and how low it really is. If it's super low, if it's 2%, out the gate and it stays at a 2%, we got to change that thumbnail. And that brings me to my point. Someone asked, let me pull that up. How long would you before you would change a thumbnail? it's going to depend on the impressions. If you only have 100 impressions, that's not enough data. We wait till we get at least 1,000 impressions to kind of make those calls. And even that, like on this channel, like we have 7.7. You could say, oh, we have a good amount of data. We do out the gate, but it's only been 4 hours, right? A little over 4 hours. Honestly, we wait probably up to 12 hours to a day before we make that decision. But here's the other thing you got to know. We're doing a split test. So right now, that hour, it could have been mainly showing the one that's not performing as well. And we're going to find that out later on.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I was going to show this here. So we're early, but we're already getting some percentages. So right now it's already saying this is winning, right? The thumbnail number 1 is winning and it's not far behind. Now, does that mean it's not? No, it means it still could outperform it. But now when it gets tested to a new audience, it's going to see what resonates. And then and the other thing to understand is like the thumbnail test. And a lot of times people think it's the click-through rate or it's the average view duration. It's actually both, right? So it's looking at something that whatever the click-through rate is plus the average view duration, it wants to basically take those two, give you a percentage of what one it feels like. If someone clicks on this video, they're more likely to stay to the end, right? That's what they're looking at. And YouTube is all about retention, right? So it's not just your click-through rate, it's click-through rate plus average view duration. But right now, I could say, oh, this one's winning, let's turn it off. No, they're pretty close. But if I came in here and this one here was like 60 and this one here was 40, I'd be like, I might want to basically test another one against this one. But right now they're so close, I'm going to let it ride.
And I'll say that the other day, actually, it was while we were on with our class that I actually I stopped the test and I just picked the one because it was, and this might have been, I don't know, maybe a day in, but the one was at 62% and the other one was at 38. It's a no-brainer. That's like, okay, we got to stop that. We got to let this one roll because the other one's hurting our click-through rate right now. We got to fix that.
Right. And so just to demonstrate though, I'm going to go back to the channel real quick and I'm going to go into, let's go into here real quick. And I want to show you something that's gotten a lot of views and we'll look at the reach. We're still averaging a 6.1% on this after a 1.5 million impressions. So that's only using that one thumbnail now, right? That's all that it's using is that one thumbnail. Came out of the gate with an 8.5 and then it's kind of hovered around there, but popped up again a little bit and down. This has tested it to a lot of different audiences. So that tells me for our audience, this is working, right? This style is working. Okay. So that's an example there. And I can do this one here because this has got almost 100,000 on it. Let's look at that one and see what we're doing there. If we look at the reach on this one, look at that. That crossed $1,000 in earnings, by the way. 5% on this one, average, right? But look at it's gone here. It was like 4.3. But look at that's the winner. So that's the one that we went with. This had text. This didn't have text, but it had a screenshot. So those were the two differences.
And you know something too? Go over your thumbnail test. Just look at that right now. Read the top. Test finished. We ran that for only 2 days before we had a winner. And if you go up to the top, you guys see, scroll back up. You see that little like analytics thing to the left, right where the first day is. That's where the test was. So you see it here. A thumbnail test was running during this time. Shows the total click-through rate, blah, 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 right? So that's letting us know what we've tested. If we tested another one on day 15, it would show that as well. And then we can get data out of that.
But check this out. I mean, this is interesting, right? So like that was 3 days. The fourth day or sixth day, it was only a 3.5%.
Yep.
So why would that be happening? You know,
a new audience.
They're testing a new audience. And obviously that audience didn't like it. So it kept testing other audiences and eventually it pulled itself out of the hole. And then here it is at 7. We had another little drop here, but then here. So just understand that we're not expecting to hold even a 5%. With getting 1.5 million impressions, I would hope to get a 4%. Like that would be like my minimum. I need to get I need to get that. Now, could we take this thumbnail that's been winning Could we test it against another one and try to get to a 6% again? We could. We definitely could. But I'm almost at the point where I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch it. It's doing pretty well. But we probably should, right? I mean, this video right now is still getting, views. Is still getting. I mean, look at this. In the last 48 hours, it's still gotten 1,122 views. Browse.
Almost 600 views a day. Yeah.
Browse here and that. Let me look at it was 24 last hour. Still over here, 29. And look at it. It's steadily getting 25, 28, 21, 36, right? Look at that one's a 46 hour, right? So it's still cranking along. And look at that, $1,000 it's earned. Yep. Gotten 2,800 subscribers, 5,700 watch time hours, and 99, almost 100,000 views on a video that was done in October, at the end of October, almost November 1st, right? This is what we call a micro viral video, but the thumbnail drives a lot of that, right? The title, turn on this YouTube feature to increase views fast. And then there, I've got a whiteboard with an arrow pointing to something and it says, turn this on, right? So that's basically for the YouTube audience. They're like, what do I turn on? I want to know. So, I mean, a good test here would be, and Scotty, now that I'm thinking about it, like a good test here on this thumbnail would be to put something in there that had, not the whiteboard, but had something along the lines of like, the setting that you're going to be turning on, which actually this was an A/B split test setting where we were like, start using A/B split test. So maybe it's like you have a screenshot of the A/B and you have an arrow pointing there with the YouTube logo. That's another test we could run. We totally can do that.
You want to know a great test? I got a good test for you. Maybe that shirt, because that shirt is the same one you're wearing today's video. And this one, maybe it's the shirt.
Maybe it's the blue shirt.
It's the blue little striped shirt you got going on, or the whatever.
Well, this one here was the flannel. So
yeah, maybe we got to bring the flannel. Oh no,
we got to bring the flannel back. Now this one here, not getting views. I'm sorry, guys. We're just playing around here in the analytics. Don't mind us. I'm curious. Okay, so that one won, not getting views, question, right? And then this one here was do this and an arrow pointing it. This one here, I actually pumped up the saturation a little bit on that shirt in Canva because I wanted to make it pop a little more. Because when I wore it, I'm like, oh, that thing's gonna pop a little bit. So we're always thinking about like, how can we make the image pop and stand out a little bit? And if you look at that, I mean, that's a small thumbnail that you guys are seeing, and you can still read it clear as day. Not getting views, right? Boom, big 3 words. That's it. So anyway, this is kind of what we do in our little coaching classes, by the way, guys. We got another one coming up this Saturday. It is a closed class right now, but we will be reopening the 1K Collective here probably in the next few weeks.
Someone asked about that. What is the 1K Collective?
Yeah, the 1K Collective. We can actually drop a link to it right now. It's closed, but you can read about it. But yeah, basically what we decided to do is get a group together and for 4 weeks, we basically go through our strategy of creating what we call the perfect video formula. And we basically go through 5 different parts. But then what we do is we give 5 different outlier titles that Scotty basically found and handpicked. We give each student the same 5, and then you go ahead and you take what you learn, you apply it, you record a video, and then you come back the following week and then you look at your analytics, and then we show you how to kind of study the analytics, what to change. We also study intro hooks a lot because that has a lot to do with your retention. That's in there. So we do a lot of teaching, but we do a lot of implementation and then a lot of review. We will be opening up another class here probably in a few weeks. But it's been going really well. We've been getting a lot of great case studies from it as well, so which is going to be really awesome. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely we'll have a link in the description, or you can just comment 1K Collective or just 1K. Just put in 1K, make it easier. But yeah, so
it's not a beta group anymore, but we'll keep that up.
What's that?
I said it's not a beta group anymore, but we'll keep that up so you guys can understand.
Yeah, it's going to be out of beta. It's going to be a full-fledged course now, which is really good. I think there's 35 videos in it now, and there'll probably be about 45 when we get done.
And let's just say this, our first 2 classes each were 4 hours a pop.
Yeah, they were.
filled with information, man. Filled. But we got a lot
Yep.
of 1Ks in there too. What send
Yeah,
those
why don't you
people
drop
over.
that link to the landing page in there if you got it?
That's a great question. I might have to find that one myself.
Yeah, I could find it for you if you want.
Yeah, you might have to. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, why don't you answer another couple questions?
Yeah, I'll answer some questions when I get that up. Let's go. Couple more questions. I'm gonna go through because someone asked, Hazel, can you drop your question again? Because there's a lot of comments I gotta go through. I did not star yours, so I gotta go back and look. Let's see. I know Ask You All said, I'm overwhelmed when I see an element gives a better result. I didn't know how to remember it every time I make a new video. How do you take notes on all these elements that give better results? Now it's just little things. So like red, if we use the color red in the background of a thing and we notice that it's doing better on the split test, we put red. It's just like a mental note. Red. It's not like we're over the top where it's like, oh, it has to be red in there. There has to be this. Like, no, it's just like, okay, 90% of the split test, the red in it does better. I'm putting red. Now it might not be red for you. It might be blue. And like whatever the color is, it might do better for you. It might be the green, right? For us, it's screenshots, right? If we put a screenshot in it, it might do better than just pointing to the whiteboard, or pointing to the whiteboard might be better than a screenshot. Like we'll take that note and then we'll put it in there. Now, not every video is going to use a whiteboard. Not every video might have a screenshot. So we have to do something else to that. So it's like, you don't need to overthink it that much. It's more of take mental notes of things that you notice repetitively are working. So color scheme, maybe the words, 3 words, and not even that is, or into that is like, maybe you say, when you say shocked in it somewhere, the word shocked does good for you. You can reuse that and you can just, change it a little bit, but have it to where it's still a shocked feeling, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you notice, and this is kind of going old YouTube to now, because a lot of people talk about this, for a while, majority of people who are in the thumbnail, their picture, if they had their mouth open, it had a better click-through rate. Now, I can't say that's the same now, but that used to be the thing. People that would go, used to be better. Right. So when you were going through YouTube, if you see anyone going, it was because of that, because that did better than someone doing this. It just did, because it had more emotion, like you talked earlier, right? So things to note, right? It's just little things like that, just to kind of know, and don't overwhelm yourself with it. It's just, okay, that worked. I'm going to do that again and test it. And you might see the second time it doesn't work, right? You got to keep testing different things, but not every thumbnail is the same, because not every thing you talk about is going to be the same thing, or you said it the same way. Like everything's different. So you got to change it up, but just keep some of those things that you see the same. It could be the font. You notice when you put the font in the middle, or the text in the middle, it does good. When you put it to the left, it doesn't do as good. Little note. And it's really just that. Hopefully that clarified you a little bit. Let's see. Can I test a thumbnail weeks after I post? Absolutely. You can. I will say this though, like if you're not getting the impressions, I don't know if it's really worth your time to go in there and create the thumbnail, because it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get more views. Like if anything, I would change the title first before the thumbnail. Yeah. Because titles refers to like your impressions, right? So like the more when you change your titles, it's putting you to different impressions as far as like getting more eyeballs on your video. The click is the thumbnail. So that's where the views come in. So if anything, I'd change title first. But if you're seeing like, hey, I'm getting 500 impressions a day, that's not bad. That's pretty good for a video that's a week old. Then maybe change the thumbnail, right? But yeah, you can still do it. It's not going to hurt your video or anything. I just don't know if I'd waste the time on it if you're not getting the impressions. Like the ROI on it isn't going to be the best. Can you do a thumbnail test a couple weeks after upload, or only on a new video?
You do it after.
Same thing. You can do it after. It doesn't have to be right away. Yep. If you look at, we have a couple of different tools that actually goes, like we don't use it all the time, but it does have some cool features to where we can see, like even that View Stats Pro, that's Mr. Beast one, you can see all the split tests that someone does. So I can go on any video and I can see if they did a split test, an A/B split test, how many they did, and like how many thumbnails pictures they picked, and then also how many they did throughout the video or the duration of that video. So if it was, you know, maybe at the 15-day mark, they switched it out. Maybe at the 17-day mark, they tried only one. Like I can see all that in there. And so to my point, a lot of creators, especially big time creators, they're doing this. They are doing a lot of split tests because here's the thing though, they're getting a lot of impressions on the regular because they've already built up this audience. And since they already have the impressions and don't need to worry about a title, then they do the thumbnail. Now we've seen creators too that they have a good following and their impressions are probably lower than what they're expected. And we've seen them change the title because we'll go and watch a video and then we'll look, you know, 10 hours later and we say, hey, that's a different title, but it's the same video. So this is nothing new. This is just what all creators are doing. It's just on a different scale.
Yep. I wanted to jump in here with Clay. So
yeah.
He said that's interesting. Are you saying 3-month-old video, if I change the title as opposed to the thumbnail, that I might start getting new impressions? Yes, that's the only way, right? Like it's like if your channel's getting 5 impressions a day, we got to get impressions before your thumbnail is even going to matter, right? People think they changed the thumbnail and now all of a sudden they've changed something, so YouTube's going to push it. No, they're going to push it off the title. Now, we've talked about that. Is it worth your time to try to rework a title for an old video and try to get it up, or is it better use of your time to just shoot a new video? For me, it's shooting a new video. Does that mean we won't go back in the catalog and test some things and see if we can't revive one? Maybe. I think that best way for you to get traffic or to start getting impressions on a video that's older is to link to it from a new video, right? That's something we haven't really talked about, but that's a little hack that anybody can use. If you're getting video views off of your initial uploads, even if it's not a ton, like let's say that you're getting 300 views. Well, if you link over to another video that's an older video, that could revive it. So that's another way to kind of revive an old dead video. So hopefully that helped.
I will say we don't have a full, I guess, video on just analytics, but if you go into any of the videos, majority of the time, this guy over here, he goes into the analytics, so he kind of sees it. But if you're talking about understanding it, there's not like a set video for that. I will say in our 1K collective, that is something that we do deeply. Like I know, and if any of you guys are in here for the 1K collective, you can test for this, that we dive deep into analytics, and I think we've helped a lot of people understand it better. The thing is it's not like we could shoot a little 10-minute video and explain everything. There's so much you can go into. So it's like you kind of need a process to go through it. And the other thing is it can be overwhelming. Like right now, if I was like, here, this is what the analytics is, this is what impression means, what click-through rate means, this does this, it's too much. I wouldn't be like, I'd feel overwhelmed and it would make me not want to do anything. So we don't want to like throw any of that at you guys. It's got to be at like, for example, when he's talking about in his other videos he's done where he's talking about thumbnails, he will bring up the analytics and show the split test. So you can learn a little bit about split test from just that video.
Right.
Right. Or if we're talking about titles, he'll show the impressions of the titles.
Right.
Right. Like that's how we're talking about analytics. So it's easier to digest.
Yep. Cool. Jeff says 1K is outstanding. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're proud of that group, honestly. Like we've got a lot of rock stars in that group. And I think there's more to come. Anyway, if you guys are interested in the 1K collective, it is currently closed. We're going to be out of beta, and the beta class was really for us to go and teach live for 4 weeks. And now we've kind of created a 4-week course that you'll be able to go through. We haven't decided how we're going to add a support piece to it. Right now, we do have live calls that we're doing. We may have something that's going to have like a monthly call for all 1K collective people. We haven't decided that yet. We're actually still working on that with our 1K collective class. It's where we can constantly be helping each other, but sharing tests and titles and thumbnails and all of the things that we're constantly working on and testing and kind of like we're in the lab, you know? Yep. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. But if you guys are interested in the 1K Collective, you hear us talking about it a lot. Just put actually, you know what? Just go to livevideoschool.com and you'll see a link there on that page, or go to the description. We put it in the description, so it's there. Probably the easiest way is just go in the description. You'll find it right there. But I think that's it, Scotty. I think we got to wrap this baby up. So guys, this was our live for this week. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of it. Let us know, what is your biggest aha from today? What is your biggest light bulb moment that went on today? Let us know in the comments. We appreciate seeing that, because we do want to make sure that we're that we're delivering the goods. And I mean, we had someone on here already that said, been following your advice and got monetized in 90 days. So that's a win for us. We're going to walk away today feeling pretty good about that one. That is our goal, guys. Our goal is to help you guys, not just help ourselves, but help you guys. And honestly, when we're able to help you, we gain too, right? And that's the cool thing about our 1K Collective. It's like we're totally transparent with those guys. We're like, listen, our goal is to help you so you get results, so we can share your results, so people know that what we're talking about actually works, and we can help you too. So yeah, we just want to help as many people as we can. As small creators, it's hard out there, right? There's a lot of the bigger channels that have millions of views or millions of subscribers, and you're like, how do I even compare? That's why we started Live Video School. Even though I have another channel that has over 100,000 subscribers, I wanted to show you, like, starting over is hard, but also it's possible. And we started this channel in a brand new, space that I've never taught in. I've got a lot of knowledge in it, but I've never taught in it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to help the small creators out there, right? I'm going to also show them how they can make money without having 100,000 subscribers or hundreds of thousands of views on videos. That's a mission of mine that I want to do, and I know Scotty does as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. So guys, let us know, again, biggest aha. And let us know if you guys want us to cover anything, want us to do more of these, the thumbnail comparisons or title stuff or breakdowns of anything. Let us know, and we'll see what we can do. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action. And if you're in the 1K Collective, we'll see you Saturday at noon. Take care, guys.